Have you ever considered this? The Air Force spends tens of millions in years training an ace pilot, only for the sixth-generation fighter to arrive with quantum radar, and wingmen, where one pilot can replace an entire squadron. The fiercest online debate isn't about how awesome this plane is, but whether it's so overpowered it'll leave a whole bunch of pilots out of work, forced to pack their bags, and switch to commercial aviation. This debate has raged since that odd-looking tailless prototype appeared over Chengdu in 2021, continuing through the January 2026 launch of the fourth prototype. Today, let's untangle whether this so-called excessive advancement truly spells trouble. First, let's examine just how advanced this sixth-generation fighter is. The J-36, spotted in Chengdu, features a tailless design, triple-engine configuration, and a combat radius rumored to exceed 4,000 kilometers. Its internal weapons bay is massive enough to carry several times the munitions of the J-20, and even its landing gear has been upgraded to dual-wheel units, clearly engineered for ultra-long-range operations. Shenyang has a twin-engine variant, slightly smaller but sharing the tailless design and thrust vectoring nozzles. Its stealth capabilities are revolutionary, coatings so dark they absorb light, radar cross-section reduced to 1/100th that of the F-22. Ground radar networks would struggle to detect it, like searching for a black cat at night with a flashlight. Even more formidable is its onboard technology. Chet validated quantum radar as early as 2016, utilizing entangled photons to double detection range. This system specifically penetrates stealth coatings while offering superior anti-jamming capabilities, enabling battlefield reactions far outpacing human pilots. Its AI is equally formidable, reportedly evaluating thousands of targets in 0.1 seconds. It calculates precisely who to engage, what munitions to use, and how to evade interceptors, leaving pilots with just one task: tapping confirm on the screen. This integrated system makes online concerns about the technology not entirely unfounded. In 2025, the Air Force conducted simulated combat exercises at a Northwest base, where I-controlled drones, accompanied by 3 unmanned wingmen, faced off against J-11B fighters. The initial lock-on speed was terrifyingly fast, with experts remarking that such automation levels would have been unimaginable just 5 years prior. Sixth-generation fighters could operate entirely unmanned, delivering cargo at supersonic speeds or patrolling high-risk airspace without human exposure, maximizing survivability. The math is stark. Training a qualified third-generation fighter pilot from flight school to combat readiness costs tens of millions, over 7 to 8 years, more valuable than gold by weight. If AI truly handles everything, the financial implications become undeniably awkward. Add to that the displays of intelligent unmanned wingmen and swarm systems at the 2025 Zhuhai Air Show, and many envision future dogfights, one large aircraft leading dozens of small drones, with pilots sitting in air-conditioned bases clicking mice, leaving cockpit crews completely obsolete. But if you think that way, you've completely misunderstood the Air Force's logic. Let's examine the series of actions. From 2025 to early 2026, the Air Force's recruitment scale not only didn't decrease but actually increased. Training content added a large number of human-machine collaboration simulation cabin subjects, and veteran pilots were also sent back in batches for retraining. What does this indicate? It's not about cutting personnel, it's about replacing them, replacing skill sets, not uprooting people entirely. The 2025 footage of the J-20's two-seater coordinating with the GZ-11 drone delivered the clearest signal. The rear pilot no longer grips the control stick. Instead, holding a tablet, they command the entire theater's drone fleet, assigning which units conduct reconnaissance, which perform electronic jamming, and which deliver finishing blows. All commands originate from human operators. The 2025 simulated conflict in northwest China already revealed the truth. AI systems started strong, locking targets rapidly and reacting swiftly, but in the end, victory hinged on pilots' tactical deception and split-second judgment. In complex electronic warfare environments, when opponents suddenly shut down systems, abruptly change course, or deploy decoys, AI often gets overwhelmed. That's when seasoned pilots glance at instrument trends and instinctively discern whether the enemy is feinting or launching a real attack. This capability isn't something code can replace anytime soon. Let's talk hard logic. Training cycles. It takes an average of 7 years for an aircraft carrier-based fighter pilot to go from recruitment to deployment, and fighter pilots follow a similar timeline. If we drastically cut active duty pilots now, who will fly the sixth-generation fighters when they enter mass service around 2035. Recruit as sports players on the fly. That's a joke. The Air Force is acutely aware of this. Its 2025 recruitment brochure explicitly expands enrollment for technical specialists seeking a new generation of air combat officers who understand algorithms, can adjust parameters, and command machines. Pilots won't be laid off, they'll simply transition from a scarce commodity to an even scarcer one. Another often overlooked factor is international competition. The US GAD program has undergone repeated reviews since 2023, originally slated for 2030 deployment. Yet by 2025, the Air Force Secretary publicly acknowledged China's potential lead. In early 2026, Shui Human stated on a program that the US hasn't even finalized the F-47's design blueprints, with mass production still far off. Europe's CAP program is even less promising, with the German Chancellor hinting at internal delays. Our J-36, however, made its maiden flight on December 26, 2024, and unveiled its fourth prototype on January 30, 2026, 4 prototypes in just over a year. This iteration speed has stunned foreign media. What's most critical at this pace? Pilots who can fly these machines. Once aircraft are built, you need people to test them, train pilots, develop tactics, and mentor apprentices. This pool of personnel isn't just large, it's vastly insufficient. Additionally, consider the pilot's own feedback. The first test pilots to train on the 6th-generation simulator reported an overwhelming surge in helmet-displayed information. The entire three-dimensional battlefield situation, drone locations, fuel nodes, and threat prioritization all piled before their eyes. While exhausting initially, they found battlefield awareness multiplied several times over compared to 5th-generation aircraft once adapted. Their primary concern isn't job loss, but whether their minds can keep pace with the new technology. The Air Force has prepared corresponding plans. Starting in 2025, some pilots will transition to civil aviation, but this is part of natural retirement and normal personnel rotation, unrelated to 6th-generation aircraft displacing positions. More pilots will be retrained for new aircraft types and roles, shifting from pilots to air combat managers. We must also consider the new demands the 6th-generation aircraft will bring. With its extended combat radius, capable of operating independently 3,000 to 4,000 kilometers from base, it will frequently operate without early warning aircraft support. This demands autonomous threat assessment and decision-making. Quantum radar and integrated RF sensors will generate massive data streams. AI can filter, prioritize, and recommend actions, but who will determine which target is the primary threat? Who will bear the political consequences of mistaken strikes? That's a job I can't handle. Then there's formation coordination, a single 6th-generation fighter leading 10 or 8 drones. These drones may come from different manufacturers, batches, and carry varying payloads. How to assign missions, prevent conflicts, and ensure communication links remain intact. These are all newly emerging specialized fields. Which of these roles doesn't require human expertise, and highly skilled personnel at that? So returning to the initial question, are China's pilots truly facing mass unemployment? The answer is clear, no. The Air Force's recruitment brochures, training SABI, and equipment upgrade cycles all point to one truth: the more advanced the 6th-generation fighter, the higher the pilot competency requirements, the longer the training cycle, and the greater the value of the talent. What we lack isn't positions, it's the minds capable of mastering this super weapon. Pilots' jobs aren't just safe, they're getting bigger bowls to fill.